Hello everybody, this is Flare, aka Flary, returning yet again with a Fireside Flare vlog. So sorry I have been slow on the uploads. I know I've been slow lately, but don't worry, I'm still here and I'm still going to give you your daily Flare. In fact, I'll even go for a little extra length on this video to make up for my slowness. How's about that, huh? Anyways, the polls on the site have been closed. The votes are in. The polls with the plan, if you're not following along. And I'm glad things have turned out the way things are. As for further discussion on the polls, I haven't really looked into it yet, but like I said in my other video about the plan, which I believe was episode number 2 or 3, I don't exactly remember, but I talk about my opinions on the plan and what's going to happen and things like that. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. We still don't have a date for you guys yet as far as when the transfer is happening, but rest assured that we will get you one ASAP. We're still working on things, okay? As for what's going on with the site right now, aside from that, nothing worth talking about yet. Although I was wrong about the deadlines. We actually have until April 4th to express interest in it. Like, we had until April 4th to say, yay, we want to go, yay, yes, please. And we have until late April to actually send someone. Like, I have a PM in my inbox detailing the dates. So I was wrong about that. I'll probably put an annotation in the last video if I remember to. Remember, I have excellent memory. I have huge memory. I love my memory. So, anyways, also, before I get into some personal tidbits, because everyone loves to hear my thoughts, which are always correct and right and glorious, because everyone worships their Flary overlord, I just want to say that I would comment on and play some of the new Pokemon Sun and Moon footage, but apparently from what I've seen, it's just a bunch of Japanese footage that barely shows anything. Like I've looked around on some websites about the new footage, and it was disappointing, to say the least. Of course, I could be wrong. My sources could be wrong. So if I am wrong, feel free to correct me, and I'll post a video detailing my thoughts on it. But right now, I don't feel that it's worthwhile to make a video about nothing. So, now with that out the way, let's talk about what's going on in the world today, because I assume everyone lives under a rock except me. Just to warn you, this might get slightly political, and I know people hate politics, so if you don't want to care, wow, if you don't want to care, please care. So if you don't care to hear about what I have to say in regards to this, just skip to whatever the annotation in the video says. I'll throw up an annotation in there. So, okay, final warning. If you don't care about politics, if you don't care about what I have to say, skip to that time wherever it's going to be, okay? So, right now, you hear this thing about people going on strike to increase how much they're getting paid or whatever to $15 an hour. At least that's what I've heard. It might be just to increase wages in general. I don't really know, but let's go along the lines that they want to pay $15 an hour. They want to get paid $15 an hour, okay? So ever since this Bernie Sanders person has come along, riding on his unicorn and shooting rainbows out of his hands, everyone started to become 42nd degree burn victims. They've been bought into this whole socialism will work this time, man. Capitalism is evil. Fight the machine. Down with the establishment. And they'll try to tell me it's democratic socialism and it's not actual socialism. There's a whole entire argument to be had on why that logic is completely and utterly flawed, but I'm not about to go into that. Instead, let's talk about this whole $15 an hour strike thing and why the movement is completely devoid of economic understanding, among other things. So, the sole reason for a business's existence is to make a profit. It's to make money. It's not there to help people. It's not there to provide jobs. It's there to make a profit. It just so happens that if I want to make a profit, I have to actually produce something. I have to produce things. And since I can't produce a lot of things by myself, I have a demand for labor. If you supply me with labor, I produce more and I make more profit. And for being a productive person that supplies me with labor and thus earns me profit, you get compensated for it. Neat little concept, huh? It's called capitalism. Yay. So you think that we can just hire a whole bunch of other workers, right? Like we can hire all the people. We can hire all the workers, right? Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cleanse you of the rainbows Bernie Sanders has Sith lightning in your eyes. The reason businesses don't hire a bunch of workers is because of something called marginal product. And for those of you who haven't taken an economics class yet, or at all, marginal product is the change in output due to a change in labor. Here is a chart showing marginal product. As you can see, the more workers I hire, the less productive each one of them gets. It's not because of laziness, it's because there's less to work with, what with the allocation of resources and whatnot. So if I want to add more worthwhile labor, I, as a business, would have to expand my resources, such as branching out, buying more land, opening a second establishment somewhere, things like that. That being said, you can obviously see that there comes a point where it costs more for me to hire additional workers, and I thus start losing money because I'm having to pay more payables and expenses when it comes to wages. A $15 an hour wage not only jacks that entire chart up by increasing the payables and expenses I have to pay, but now it squeezes that curve, meaning the point at which it costs me more to hire workers and I start losing profits comes at a lower point on that x-axis of this curve. Since I, as a company, have to keep making gains in profits, aka keep making money to stay in business, the first thing any business is going to do is start laying people off, either because they can't afford to keep paying those people, or it's a lot cheaper for me to just fire you and make everyone else cover for your slack. After all, at some point, people are going to start producing more because there's more to work with. I don't understand why people think you're supposed to be able to live off of a menial job, like burger flipping or the fast food industry. That's not the purpose of those jobs, hence why they pay maybe a notch or two above minimum wage, if that. Okay? The purpose of those kinds of jobs are for you to get experience or a little bit of spending money. The ideal situation being that you're in high school, you get a menial job like at a dollar store or a fast food joint, you earn a little bit of spending money, and since you probably still live with your parents or whoever your parental figures are in life, I would imagine they still pay some amount of your bills, like if you have a phone bill or something. And you still have a roof over your head, and you have some way to get to work or whatever, whether that's your car, your mom or dad's car, or the bus. Okay? So, anyway, you bust your butt, graduate high school, and now you have some experience in the workforce. And you start moving up a bit wherever you work at, or you start getting paid a bit more. And you get a higher education or pick up a trade. You get an actual job like a database administrator or a car mechanic or a physician. And you get way more income than you ever would have working at that burger flipping job because it's a better job and it contributes more to society. Just to go off on a bit of a tangent, I don't know why people are lying to kids, especially in a volatile time such as high school and college, where you might not know what you want to do yet. Talking about you can be whatever you want to be. Okay, that's true to a certain extent, but realistically, you have to get a job that's high in demand. Otherwise, you're stuck with your degree in lesbian dance theory, and now you're angry because people have lied to you and told you that you're immediately going to get six figures right out of college. That's not how the world works, people. A degree doesn't automatically entitle you to raking in cash. What your degree is in does, okay? For example, a person who majored in computer science is most likely going to make more money than someone who majored in history, okay? Because technology is on the rise right now, okay? Trade jobs like plumbing, HVAC, mechanics, welding, things like that are going to be in high demand because those job fields are thinning out and we need people to do those jobs. Hence, we're going to see the income of those jobs skyrocket because there's more of a demand and less of a supply, okay? Get a degree in what you're good at. Chances are you're good at whatever you like doing. So if you want to get that art degree, then go ahead and get it. No problem. But you have to have a backup plan. For example, I have an associate's degree in liberal arts, an art degree basically. So I know my way around Photoshop and a pen and paper, okay? Because I wanted to be an artist. But I also wanted to be good with technology. So I went to university. I declared myself a major in IT, just in case my career goals in the art field didn't work out. Okay? I can fall back on my technological background if they don't work out. So another example is Geoshu, aka Solixius. He wants to be a writer and know his way around social media. So he picks up a major in media studies and takes a few journalism classes. Okay? But he also has a degree in Spanish. So if his writing career doesn't work out, and I hope it does work out, he can fall back on his Spanish degree and be a translator or an interpreter, because not a lot of people speak both English and Spanish. Thus there is a demand for that job. You, not the government, not the companies, not the establishment, you have to expand your skill set and make yourself more marketable. So that way, when you go hunting for a job, you actually earn that $15 an hour or $28 an hour, because I know a guy who works on government software and he makes bank. Why? Because he invested in himself, he worked hard, he got an education, specialized in a job that's high in demand, and made himself marketable. That's how you get a good paying job, and that's how you get $15 an hour, not by government mandated price floors. So, if you're productive and you have something to offer that's useful to society as a whole, and by useful I mean skilled labor or a trade, and you help produce in those fields, then you get more. If you're not productive and you don't seek anything beyond burger flipping, then I'm afraid you might be hard pressed to find pay anywhere above 10 an hour. Okay? So, that out of the way. In other news, the almighty gravitational pull of League of Legends has snared me once again. So I'm back in the League, which was why I wasn't on much yesterday. League is a lot of fun, especially when you win. But when you lose because an intermediate super tanky Warwick bot just waltzes through your base and you take forever trying to decide if you want a Yomo Ghostblade or a Black Cleaver, then it's disappointing and makes me want to go to Wendy's and pour sea salt all over me. Just in case you were wondering, I usually main Garen and Darius because I'm a scrub and I hate mage and marksman champions. I'm the kind of guy who prefers to be up in your face, shoving the business end of my sharp and pointy stick in your abdomen. But I also play a bit of Master Yi, and I'm about to try out Taric because I want to get good with him. He seems like a cool character. I mostly tend to play with fighters because they're easy and simple to play with, and they have a bit of a role in League stuff. See, I'm a scrub. I don't know competitive League. So now you know that I don't actually play PvP, because if I did play PvP, I would be spouting off all sorts of jargon to you. I usually only play against bots because they don't scream at me and make me feel bad unless I lose. Then I feel terrible, and I want to go to Wendy's and pour sea salt all over myself again. I also typically only play with friends and keep things super casual, like Lockjaw is one of them. I told you about him before. And Prince Flareon on NintendoPlus, he's another guy I play with. So for those of you who know me really well, maybe you can shoot me a friend request on League. You'll have to ask me personally though, either on my blogs or on my profile, or if you have me on Skype, you can just message me. Anywho, that's all for this video. Super long video, I know. Hopefully it was enough to satisfy you. And before you go clacking away on your keyboards, talking about how I shouldn't hate Bernie Sanders, I don't care. If you're going to vote for Bernie Sanders, go ahead and vote for Bernie Sanders. He seems like an honest guy. And I will say that he is probably the most consistent candidate in the race. I just hope you acknowledge that that's the same reason most people voted for Obama. And look where that got us. If you want to know where my vote's going to, though, it's going to Cruz. Because I'm more of a libertarian-leaning conservative, and he falls the most in line with my beliefs. Either way, I hope you all have a flare-tastic day and a flare-tastic weekend. See you next time.